employee workforce management can be implemented over LTE. We have both the CBRS and the Band 8 radio here. The use cases that you see will include multiple aspects of mission critical push to text, talk, video, and text and sharing of information. In addition to that, you will also see how MCPDT system can work efficiently with an LMR system. There's also we'll be closing off with how PDT can speak with the public network in a mutual aid scenario. So there's quite a good vast area of test cases that you get to see. So welcome again and hand this over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Lenahan. I'm with Ericsson. I want to take you through the gear you're seeing up front here, one item at a time. So down at the end here, as Gautam mentioned, we have our private LTE network from Ericsson, and we're broadcasting on Anterix band 8, around 900 megahertz, and we're also broadcasting on CBRS, and we're connected to a SAS. Thank you, Don, and can you please show the core network? So that's the Ericsson core network. It's a single server core, and we got an application server on there that holds the mission critical push to talk application. That's a spectrum analyzer up front there, so you can see that we're broadcasting on 900 megahertz. Moving over, this rack on the bottom here, that's L3 Harris. I can't do it closer. That's a live LMR network. Up top, we have a Catalyst gateway that ties together LMR with mission critical push to talk on LTE. Moving over here, as Tim said, most of this has nothing to do with today. That was yesterday. Except for down here, we do have a Motorola truck radio, mission critical push to talk on band 8. Here we have Cisco. Most of this was yesterday as well. They did the whole wire network in here, which was pretty complicated for everything that happened yesterday. And then you don't see this stuff here, but it is. We have Streamline mission critical push to talk, another vendor. Theirs is riding on the Ericsson network on band 8. So two systems. Theirs application servers remote offsite. And then we also have Motorola LMR. They're broadcasting here, and there'll be a gateway between those systems as well. Turn over to Janice.
Hi, Jan. I work in mission critical PTT. As you tell from this picture, PTT's been around for a long time. You can ask the question, well, why is it important? Why is mission critical PTT important? And the answer is it provides immediate communication. So these devices are set up, so all you have to do is push a button and talk. And you don't have to look up your contact list, you don't have to look at the phone, you can just push the button and talk. And normally these devices are for noisy environments, so it provides audio clarity. And PTT is designed, mission critical PTT is designed to interface with large groups. So you can imagine if 50 people are trying to talk at the same time, it would be chaos. So with the mission critical PTT, one person can talk at a time, and it's like passing the stick. So you get the communication across, and you get the clarity. Users focus on their job. They don't have to look at the phone, they don't have to do things to the phone to make the communication. They can focus on their job. Normally, there might be some risky environments involved, and this keeps their eyes on their environment. And productivity. It's designed to be business communications, public safety communications, so you get your point across, very short, to the point communications. It increases productivity. We have a situation going on, we need a crew at site XYZ. I'm going to turn it back over to Kevin.
Okay, just a few more slides to orient us before we start on the demos. So critical comms, the traditional LMR way of working, talking to some of our utility customers. And as far as we understand it, there's a radio on the truck, LMR radio on the truck, and a single lineman typically on a truck. And the walkie-talkie handsets are primarily checked out as needed. When a crew goes to a site and they need that type of communication, they check out a radio. So not everyone's carrying radios. Talking to some of our customers who deploy mission critical push to talk, the ways of working are much different. There's still a truck radio, but the utility worker on the truck probably has a mission critical push to talk handset in his pocket as well. As we understand it, almost everyone in operations in the utility will be carrying a mission critical push to talk handset. So that can be up to like 70 or 80% of the workforce. In addition, outside contractors likely carrying devices like tree trimming crews, or if you have generation as part of utility, if you're building power plants, it's likely the construction workers might have a push to talk handset. It's a total different way of working with mission critical push to talk. And just some of the user interfaces you're going to see here, you're primarily going to see the devices. You're going to see Samsung X-Cover Pros working on Anterix Band 8C, and they have an app on them, a mobile client. That's how that device works. This is a Motorola TLK150. It has more of an integrated client. That's a truck radio. And at the other end, you're going to see dispatch. And you'll see several dispatches here. This is the Ericsson dispatch screen. Of course, that's just dispatch like you have with police radio, utility dispatch. And so our demos are going to be scripted. And so we're imagining a imaginary utility company, California United Power and Light, here in Southern California. We have private LTE. And it's going to be a normal day at the beginning, and then it's going to be a bit of a change. So we're going to start with our first scenario here. So there's going to be an electrical outage reported. We're going to send a truck out to the site for assessment, and the mission critical push to talk features that are going to be demonstrated are a dispatch call, a file sharing of a photo, so mission critical data. Text messaging, so mission critical messaging, and then just a straight up one-to-one mission critical push to talk call. So I'm going to kick that off as a narrator. So reports are coming in of a power outage around Harbor Boulevard and Merrimack Way.
Marco, please provide a report on the outage around Harbor Boulevard and Merrimack Way. There are reports of service disruption. Use all trucks talk group for communications.
Copy that, on my way.
Michael gets to the location and sees a smoking transformer.
Jenny. As you can see, loud explosion. So again, on this client that the team were describing, so here on the same mission critical push to talk group over the network over there, I can do this push to X functionality. So here I'm just going to take a photo of the transformer that I can then send on the group, so that everybody in that talk group gets a photo of the meeting. So at this point, having assessed the damage, I'm going to come out of the all trucks group, and I'm going to make a one-to-one call to Matt. So we'll go push the talk here to Matt, and then I'm going to ask for some assistance out here. So, hey Matt, we're definitely going to need someone out here. It's sort of a field operations crew. It looks like a lot of damage right now. Roger that.
Okay, so our next scenario, we're gonna have an accident. Poor Michael, going through a lot today, so. Car's gonna crash in the back of his utility truck. Gonna see an emergency call, and dispatcher's actually gonna be able to locate him. And dispatch emergency services, and then all that communication is gonna be recorded for later review. Loud smash. Michael's truck was rear-ended and he violently hits his head. Barely conscious, he presses the emergency button.
So just before I go into my role, it hasn't been a rough day. It's been 5 days in a row that we've tried. Right now I'm on concussion protocol. So I'm just gonna push the SOS button. And then this starts the emergency call group. So here I've been hit in the back again. On the side of the road. Barely conscious, send help.
Got you, Michael. I'll get emergency services in route ASAP.
Michael, I hope you're okay. I'll be right over.
Just kidding. Let me get my hard hat on.
Okay, so now it's a bad day. We've had an earthquake. And our next scenario, so we're gonna have there's gonna be a fire near a cell tower, a damaged substation, and it's gonna be a complex situation. It's gonna be a damaged substation that we're gonna send someone out to. It's gonna be a complex situation because there's gonna be a fire nearby. So we're gonna see LMR and mission critical push and talk on LTE that are working. And so before we do that, because we're moving over to a pretty sophisticated technology here, the Catalyst, I'm going to have John talk about the technology.
Sure, thank you very much. My name is John Hilliard, Vice President of Sales for Catalyst Communication Technologies. What we're going to be able to display for you is bridging that gap between land mobile radio and LTE. We just witnessed some of the technology just on the LTE side, but how do we bridge that gap? But not only bridging that gap, utilizing standards. It's the most important piece of the puzzle is utilizing standards on the P25 and DMR side for public safety, as well as utilizing the standards on the LTE side, the 3GPP global mission critical standards. And how we take that technology, bridge that gap, using the Catalyst either console or dashboard. We can patch land mobile radio to the P25. What we have over here is the L3 Harris P25 system. And on this side is the Ericsson MCX server. But as you can see, as we key up the radio, you can see the transmit coming in, okay? And while we're pushing out to the top groups, bridging that gap between the channels on the P25 side and the top groups on the LTE side. So that's what we'll be demonstrating too. But we also have the ability to call, log, and record all that information, not only on our console itself, but we can take that and pass that off to someone like Exacom, okay? As well as, depending on the P25 system, is the capabilities for mapping, etc. Okay?
John, who is Exacom, and why would we pass it off?
Well, Exacom is a third-party call logging and recording. So for our purposes of, I'm sure Mark will talk about this in a little while, but for the purposes of doing some kind of a follow-up or training, etc.
Litigation.
Litigation, correct. Okay, so we're gonna play out this scenario, and you're gonna be able to see how we're transposing the transmission back and forth, okay?
So utility dispatcher, John, is alerted that there is severe damage at the Pine Bluffs substation. He sends a full crew and material truck to the site. This is a complex situation as there are reports of a fire near the substation. A talk group connects the utility, MCPTT utility workers to the fire department's LMR and their firemen. Utility dispatcher John provides instructions over the all trucks talk group.
Monitor the public safety talk group for updates on the direction, size, and status of the fire. Repeat, monitor the public safety talk group for updates on the direction, size, and status of the fire.
I have the public safety on my next cover crawl. Over.
The crew connects the public safety talk group for monitoring. Fire department is on the LMR radio.
Give me an update on the direction of fire.
The fire has been diverted away from the population. It's going west. Over.
So right there, we're just showing that we're in our own interagency talk group because not all the time you don't need all the information when we're going back and forth and we don't want to tie up your talk group. So with a simple channel change, now I go to the talk group that we're patched over to. Fire has been diverted away from the populated areas. It is moving west.
Copy, please, when you get
Dispatcher checks the map, confirming the crew has safe passage to the site.
Thank you very much. That went pretty well. So, you know, as Chad mentioned on the L3 Harris side, you know, Catalyst has over the past 25 years built advanced interfaces into the majority of the land mobile radio manufacturers in the marketplace today. And not only when Chad had the ability to change that channel in his talk group, Catalyst also has that capability right from the console to change that channel from a distance, any remote distance itself too. So that plays a very important factor in the metadata that Catalyst has to pull out of the radio systems, as well as that important metadata that we receive from the NCX platform itself. So when Chad keyed up on the radio, you can see the unit ID, the alias information, emergency notification, etc. As well as on the Ericsson side, you see that information too. So, which is very important in public safety.
So here, here's a screenshot of like Hexacom GUI for logging recording. And so what would have happened in that whole fire scenario, they would have recorded all the audio communications on LMR and mission critical talk. And so that could be looked at later and to see how that event unwinded and maybe how things could have been done better for the technology. So our next scenario is an inspection of damaged cell towers. And this one is, you're going to see mission critical push to talk video. So after the earthquake, it is imperative to quickly assess the status of the private LTE cell site. Crews head out to inspect the telecom sites and report in. An engineering team will wait at the main building for damage reports. Jenny alerts the engineering team of a damaged cell site in the south zone.
Base, cell site 3 has severe damage. Stand by for video.
It's on 1.4 megahertz.
Jenny, can you show me the other side of the tower? Over.
Stand by. I've seen enough.
Okay, well, meanwhile, at the gas company, I'm gonna turn this over to Dave.